What's up everyone, Shane here with ROA Off-Road. I'm not in the United States of America right now. I'm actually over in Australia. This is a pretty cool rig you got, Vaughan. Where are we? What are we doing?
Well mate, we're at our head office in Brisbane, Australia, and so welcome from MDC and the team. And we've been talking about this for a few years now, right? So myself and Anya have made a lot of trips to the US, and it's like we're over there and we're like, hey, we want to show your family Australia, and here we are. And we've got yourself, Cynthia and Courtney.
Yeah.
So mate, here we are at head office. We've got the patrol here all set up because we're going on a trip tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, nervous. Some of your guys in there are telling me about all the things that I can die from. Different snakes, you know, which ones you're just toast.
Yeah.
Some you have 30 minutes to get to the hospital, some are an hour. I'm like, oh geez, you guys are making me super excited.
So our first trip, we're off to Fraser.
Okay.
What you have to worry about there is dingoes. Have you heard about dingoes?
I've like wild dogs or coyotes maybe equivalent in the US is what
Yeah, I guess similar to a coyote, but a little bit smaller. They're our native dog. And on Fraser, also called Gari, that is the indigenous name. These are the most purebred dingoes left in Australia.
Okay.
But that's gonna be really cool. We're gonna do some fishing and we're gonna drive around the island. Obviously gonna be camping in MDCs. And then after that, we got something really special. Gonna be amazing for you guys, but we won't talk about that at the moment.
Okay, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
excited. But
well,
we're here right now at the factory because to me, one of the most important things, I mean, the whole reason why we are synced up is because I sell campers, caravans, off-road trailers, you build them, and I love to know, you know, behind the build, how things are put together, get to know the team. So we're here at the factory today, and I guess you and your head production, James, is gonna show us around, right?
absolutely. And so this is head office, this is where it all started. This is where the magic happens. And
Okay.
yeah, I'd love to show you a tour and what we do and how we do it. All right, let's do it. Through this way.
Okay.
So Shane, just before we get into the production area, one of the most important roles here is what the boys are doing, our after-sales service team. So as you know, after-sales service is very important in Australia, and I imagine that's the same in the US, right?
For us it is, not everybody, but yes.
And so we got here Link, Rod and Shane. They're the front face of the company. When you purchase an MDC, if you happen to have a problem with it, these are the guys that are going to fix it with you. So they work with third-party repairers all across the country. We've also got our own repair workshops within our MDC branches.
Yeah, very cool. So this is all your warranty and after-sale support team.
Yeah, and spare parts. So, you know, if you've got an MDC you bought 10 years ago and you need to get parts, you can buy them through these guys, but you can also buy them on the spare parts page on the website as well.
That's very cool. Yeah, James was telling me you guys actually house a lot of parts, even for older units.
Absolutely. So the good thing about us is we've got parts for products that go back to around 10 years.
Yeah.
And so if your MDC is getting to that age or you need parts, what I will do is I'll take you out the back and I'll show you our parts warehouse. Like, it is floor to roof. We carry more than $1 million worth of spare parts at any one time.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
And that's only in Australia. In the US, it's not quite as big, but we do have a wide range of parts for all our gear in the US as well, which is important for you and your team.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's been really good. And these guys are the ones that are gonna get those parts out to people when they need them.
Absolutely.
For any issues post-sale.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
These guys probably have the most difficult job in the company.
Yeah.
The most important, so we always look after them. Don't I, guys?
They weren't paid to say that. That was definitely improv. There you go. Awesome.
All right, mate, let's move on.
Okay.
Hey, mate, how you going?
Hey.
Hey, I've got someone here that's come a long way to meet you.
What's up, man?
How are you, mate?
Doing
Good to
good.
see you. Welcome.
I know, again.
Yes.
Have I told you he's the reason for us selling MDCs more than anybody else?
Really? Tell me about that.
Do you not know this? I mean, he's the one that, I mean, you guys had a sales rep that was selling us hard, but I wasn't having it. And then I flew out to Vegas to meet James when he was down there. And I don't know, we hit it off. And then shortly after, a few days later, he flew to Salt Lake, came and met the whole team, walked around. Anyways, it was really good. So
That's awesome, man.
He's way more than just in charge of a lot of stuff here. He's even in charge of getting your best dealer, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's right. And so, mate, the reason we've come here is we'd like you to give us a bit of a tour of the factory.
Sounds great.
Because you know everything from tip to toe, inside out. And
Sounds good.
we hear it from you. Shane would like to understand, the process of what we do.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
We're excited.
Let's go.
Okay.
Cool.
So what do you got up here, James?
Yeah, so up here we have our product and technical team, as well as our production management team.
Okay. And what did these guys work on a lot?
Pretty much everything in the background from the minute we think of a new model all the way up to our after-sales team. So we're involved in every step of the way.
Okay. And so like designing and
Yes,
everything?
yeah. Design, compliance, documentation, owner manuals and things like that. And then all the way through to working with our suppliers for technical support as well.
Yeah, so now, I mean, because we've met a bunch and had lots of conversations. I don't know if everybody that's watching this knows your background. I think it'd be cool to get a quick little, history on
Yeah, sure.
where you come from.
Yeah. So I started in industry in 2006 as an apprentice cabinet maker and coach builder for a European caravan company. I worked there for 4 years and got my trade qualification. From there, I went and ran a fairly large RV workshop for an RV dealer here in Queensland, Australia. And I was there for a few years, ran service, repair, talked with suppliers, did PDI, all those kind of things. From there, I went and worked for TAFE Queensland, or like vocational training, trade training. And actually wrote a lot of technical resources for the qualification of building and repairing caravans or travel trailers, essentially. I got a lot of knowledge from there. And then from there, I went and worked for the National Caravan Association here in Australia as Chief Technical Officer. So I did a lot of work for regulations, working with manufacturers and importers in terms of compliance.
Okay, so you are overseeing, this is like equivalent to the United States RVIA, which
Correct.
kind of oversees all the standards, compliances, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you were the chief technology officer overseeing all of this, and that's how you guys synced up, right? Is that what
Yeah, for sure. So I knew Vaughan, along with a lot of other business owners, obviously in the role, visited a lot of factories and got to know the MDC way and Market Direct Group, and things aligned, and I had the opportunity to come on board in 2021. So I've been with Market Direct Group now for over 4 years.
Okay, that's awesome. Almost 5, going on 5. And you oversee all the compliance and here you're doing a lot, it sounds like, not just compliance, but even helping
Sure.
designing and building
Yeah.
units from the ground up.
Yeah, I guess in a business like this, it's quite diverse and complex. So it's good to be able to have an idea and handle on all aspects of the business, so you can make some good decisions. And so at the end of the day, we put out travel trailers that are some of the best in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I feel like you and I talk a lot just because I'm like, hey, this, like, I don't know how this works or that works, and you kind of have all the technical know-how, and then I ask, hey, could you do this maybe in the future? And then boom, it's like magic, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Because you have that, you're part of that.
Yeah. Well, the magic happens because I've got a great team as well. So.
Yeah.
And these guys are not only working on the Australian stuff, they're working on your US stuff as well. So they have to understand legalities in Australia and the US, which is a little bit more complex, right? Because our power is different to yours. We're 240 volts. You're
120.
120, 110, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for all that you do.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Shane, so we're standing in our purchasing and stores department, and as you can see, we've got plenty of it. Here in Australia alone, we hold over $1 million worth of spare parts in our stores.
Spare parts for just post-sale?
Yeah, so for supporting our customers, we've got over 15 years worth of legacy customers that will need spare parts, so we hold for them.
Oh, wow.
Also spare parts for current builds, current models, and that doesn't include all the parts that you see here that are actually part of our manufacturing process.
Okay, very cool. That's cool. And I hear you're building that up a little bit in the US. We're getting some.
Absolutely.
Some
So
parts.
we're going to have our online store for spare parts up and running shortly.
Okay.
And Blake from your team, he'd be very familiar contacting our team to get parts for your customers.
Yeah, I was talking to the parts guy and he was like, oh yeah, I talk to you all the time. I'm like, not me, but you talking to somebody all the time. I think it's Blake. I think Blake Blake raves about the MDC team and just the responsiveness. Even though we're on the other side of the world, different time zones, he's just like super happy with, if you don't know, he's our tech support post-sale. He's like helping people get their units fixed, warranted and everything. And yeah, they rave about your team over here. So
Good.
Yeah, so this is our factory in Brisbane. We've also got a factory in California in the US. And so we stock the US parts there.
Yeah.
As you know, some of the standards are different, some of the parts are different. But what's really important for our customers, right? Because they're using these things off-road, off-grid, and they're actually beating the snot out of them. Beating the snot out of them. Do you know what that means?
yeah, that's an English. We say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, we do that.
And you know, it's easy to bump up against things, break simple things. So you need to have the spare parts in stock, ready for the customers so they can get it quickly, so they can keep going on their travels.
Yeah, and this is awesome. And you got multiple rows through here. Floor to ceiling.
Yes. Stock take's always an interesting time of year for us.
Yeah.
Which is coming up
It is.
shortly, right?
Very, very
This
soon.
week,
geez.
end of this week.
The team.
And that's why I'm going on this trip. When stock take comes, I don't like stock take. I'm out of here.
They go count. And
I make it the
everybody's-
accountant's problem, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, geez, that's gonna be a job. Yeah, we'll be up somewhere in between Fraser and York. What is
Somewhere.
it?
Yeah. Make sure you're out of service during that period.
We haven't told you how far north we're going yet.
Oh, geez, Papua New Guinea.
Maybe.
Get on a barge.
Yeah. So it's not just parts here. We've also got parts over here.
Yeah.
So these are majority of the smaller parts. And as you can see, everything's organized very well. So we have rows,
Okay.
sections. And so in our ERP, if you wanted a certain part, you could look it up and you could say, okay, it's on shelf K2. The team knows exactly where to go, where to get it.
Wait. So can I come back and I want to point something out that I noticed, and I'm just curious if you can give me
Sure.
some information on this. So it looks like we have Sitka 521 UV. What is that for?
So that's for a lot of our roof-based work and our general external assembly. We use Seeker extensively in our builds, and that's for longevity and quality of steel. Because as we all know, at the end of the day, these do go off-road, so we want to make sure that what we're putting on there to make sure that they're watertight is
Yeah.
top of the range.
So I'm pretty familiar with this stuff to some degree. We don't use it in the U.S. and on
No.
trailers or travel trailers. They use a
Dicor.
Dicor lap sealant. Generally, it's good for 1 to 2 years, hopefully
Yes.
2 years, for sure 1 year, usually. Depends on the sun. And it's atrocious. This stuff is really expensive compared to a Dicor lap sealant.
For sure.
So what are you using this? You said the floor, the
Yeah, so
roof.
for a lot of the roof work and then
Okay.
a lot of the general sealing on the outside, so things like sealing up and fitting external lights.
So yeah, so if you don't know what that is, throw it in ChatGPT and do comparisons to Dicor lap sealant versus Sitka Flex 521 UV. This stuff is supposed to technically last a decade or longer under like UV, and lap sealant is like maybe 12 months.
Yeah, and Shane, another thing too, right? It's not about just slapping on the Sikaflex. You actually have to do primer first. So that cleans everything up so you get a good bond between the Sikaflex and the surface. And I mean, that's another cost. That's
Yeah.
cost of materials, cost of time.
No,
So-
100%. So, I mean, I personally had a brand new motorhome, little teeny RV, and like in its first year, right before the season, I was like, the lap sealant should be fine. It's only like 5 months old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just get up on the roof just to check it. And it was all cracking. And I was like, I mean, when I got it to when that was put on at the factory, may have been a few months, right? So I'm like less than a year, I was up there tearing it and putting all new sealant down on and I just thought that this is wild. Because people always ask, in the US, you can buy a trailer for pretty cheap, 20 grand. But when you're like, this type of stuff is going to be 4 times the cost. And when you do all that, I guess it just adds up, right?
And the prep work too, as Vaughan said, that takes up the time, but it's doing it properly. So it's preparing it, it's sanding back and actually preparing the surfaces first, priming it with the primer, and then using the correct sealants when you put stuff down.
Yeah, those are, there's just, I think there's hundreds or probably thousands of details of stuff that you guys are going to do that other standard US manufacturers aren't going to do. And
Yeah, well, we're building a robust off-road product, right? And so it's going to get the worst experiences that a customer could give it. So it's best to build it right in the first place. We've been doing this for a very long time, so we know how to build a strong, robust travel trailer.
yeah, very cool.
Okay, so the first step typically is the units will come in and go into our hoist bay, which is where we are standing right now. They'll go on the hoist and we'll do some of the underbody work. So typically that will involve some form of work on the suspension, putting the brakes potentially on and the tyres, doing some wheel alignments, checking the torque of some of the bolts and things like that.
Very cool. I like getting underneath that. We don't have a hoist at our shop right now, so it's nice to be able to walk under here without.
Sure. So the teams have, both in our Australian assembly facility as well as our plant in the US, have assembly checklists. So each of the bays will have a checklist that they'll be following exactly what they need to do for each model and to check. So they'll be checking the underbody for little things as well. So then from here, once the tyres are on, the suspension's all set up and they're essentially at a rolling stage, we'll lower the hoist and then they'll get wheeled over to roof bay, which we'll head over to now.
Okay, and then so this is an Australian model.
Yes.
The US models don't come here. They go straight to the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they land there, and that's where they'll get their final assembly.
For sure.
So what we're seeing under here is not going to be what you would necessarily, very similar.
Similar, yeah, not too dissimilar, but not exactly the same as well.
Yeah, very cool.
When you're building off-road products, it's very important that you protect all the wiring, water lines, everything. You see most of everything's protected, it's out of the way. We do sort of run things through chassis rather than under chassis because, you know, the lowest point's going to be an impact point.
Yeah.
And so everything's kept high
Yeah, up here.
and very well protected.
And then your corrugated plastics too,
Yeah.
to protect it
Yes.
from rubbing or chafing.
And then you can see this floor, right? It's a full composite floor. So that could never be affected by water or moisture. It's impossible.
Yeah, so you're not going to have any type of mold or rot.
Correct. Bash plates on the water tanks.
Now, the funny thing is this is not an off-road. This is your sealed road. This is your SR editions in Australia.
Correct.
This looks like an off-road trailer though.
It's a little bit, materials are a little bit thinner,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of the protections are there. So this particular trailer is warranted to go along any sealed road
Yeah.
and then maybe about 1 kilometre of dirt track or to get to like a campground. Because typically when you go in the remote areas, when you come off the road, the campground's going to be a bit of a dirt track,
Yeah.
1 kilometre or so down the road. So it's built for that. We always build things stronger than what we need, but it's definitely an on-road vehicle, this one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, compared to what I see in the US, this thing is very robust. So very, very cool.
All right, so we're looking at the roof of our XT19 HRT, which is very similar to the XT19 HRT Off-Grid Extreme model in the US. And as you can see here, the team are getting the roof ready to fit the solar panels. So we've already got the brackets down. The air conditioner will be going on shortly, and we've been putting things like skylights in. So as we alluded to before, the team have already prepared this section and primed it ready for sealing down, and just actually sealing it down as we speak.
Okay, this is very cool. So these are the brackets for the solar panels. Well, those are actually thick. Those are like 1/8 inch. What's that, aluminum?
Yes, that's about a 3 mil bracket.
Yeah, that's actually really thick. That's a.
And then they are bolted to that, so they're not just screwed to the roof. They're very, very well secured.
They're like through bolted, or is there like an actual?
The panels have threads within them that we preset, so the teams just slip it in, and then we bolt them through with bolts.
As you know, we only use glass panels, very important.
Yeah.
So they sit off the roof. If you just stick a panel directly to the roof, they get too hot and they can actually get spots that burn through them. So we only use the glass panels, sit up, get air underneath, keep them cool, more efficient.
Well, so we have a manufacturer that we were selling a while ago, and their brackets were like half as thick as this, and they were snapping, like just from the wind just driving.
Yeah, sure.
And then they actually didn't bolt them, they riveted them, and those rivets would pop out, and we've had, whoosh, they were sails.
But that's not our brand.
It became a sailboat. No, that's not an MDC unit. I don't want to name the brand.
We do things properly here.
Yeah, no, that's what my first thing that I was noticing was how thick that was. And then you're saying these are actually...
Yeah, so the side bolts into the panels.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool. And then what about these? What are these?
This is screwed to the roof, but then we're sealing on top of it.
Okay. And then of course, like all the sealant
sealed around
that is almost going to hold it in place just by
sure.
itself.
And every single aspect of that is prepared and primed before sealing.
Okay, very cool.
All right, so we've gone through from the back here, we looked at roof build, then we go into general build. Now we're going to have a quick look at our quality control gates, or our QC process. So we here at Market Direct Group, we have a fully custom built QC program, and all of the QC officers run an iPad. So depending on what model they choose at the beginning, it will populate the specific questions based on the model that they're looking at.
Okay.
And it could have up to 200 different checkpoints for them to look at.
Okay.
And right now we're on the water test page. It's talking about all things like testing all taps, take photos, check waste pipe has no leaks. So that amount of detail, and a lot of it actually has forced photos as well.
Yeah, and it says test on cold water, test on hot water. I think this is, hey, I picked up a trailer, and until we actually were doing the handover with the customer, it was so embarrassing, one of the worst. I turned on the cold, and I always tell them, hey, turn on the cold, turn on the hot, so they can fill it, and then we check it off at the handover. And I'm like, turn on the cold in the shower. And he turned it on at the hot first, and it was cold and cold and cold, and never got hot.
Yeah.
And then he turned it to cold, and it got hot.
Yeah.
So like the manufacturer just
had messed up the cold and water pipes on the back.
I can guarantee they didn't test them.
For sure.
Right? We were the ones that tested them with the customer.
So we run the exact same system, but US model specific with our US assembly plant and team.
Oh, that's so cool. I haven't seen this. This is very cool.
So one of the good things about this, not only does it ensure that we check everything thoroughly, but we've got a very, very good record of every single unit. So if we ever need to look back at any particular unit, and see the history of it, see some photos of things, we have a record at our fingertips.
Cool. That's incredible.
So then after that, we go to our weighbridge. So every single one of our units are weighed in Australia on our weighbridge. It's a full digital system, and it basically populates the information and sends it to the government, because our Australian government here require you to state the actual weight
of the unit
before you send it out.
It seems like the rules in Australia are way more strict than in the US.
Yeah, they're different, I think, is probably the best way to put it. There's a lot of differences in the American rules. I'd suggest perhaps maybe in the Australian market, they're a little bit more enforced and actively enforced across the government level, perhaps.
They might both be strict, but here they're actually enforced. And that's why you have to do these mandatory.
Oh, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, customers, at the end of the day, they're spending a lot of money on these things. They want to know that what they're buying weighs what it says on the brochure, so that they can tow safely.
That makes sense. That is very cool.
So Shane, we're going to be going on a trip tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are you going to be towing?
So I'm going to be towing an XL15 4E. Is that what it's called here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what we call it in the US. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be towing it with a Land Cruisers 300 series.
Correct.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that in the US. Well, I think we do now, but they're more rare. So, and then I'm super excited. I wanted to see this though, because this is like a jam.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're going to go out and we're going to be 3 weeks camping.
We are.
It's going to be mad. I'm excited and nervous all at the same time.
It's going to be awesome. So we might as well go pack and let's get into the next part of our Australian adventure.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.